Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Barb Meets World, and we are back for another recap and review for the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 3. Mama Knows Best. Hey y'all, what's going on? Happy Monday. It's a new week. We are back at it. I am so happy to be here with you all, recapping and reviewing this episode because I have to give it to the girls. The season's still giving, in my opinion. The season's still giving. This episode, I like to think some people probably would call it like a filler, but for me, I was very much still satisfied, and it looks like we're going to be amping it up a whole other octave or multiple next week when the ladies touch down in Queen City and get the party started and everything. But before we get into all that, y'all, go ahead, hit the like button for me. It helps me in my channel. It helps me and my channel in terms of the algorithm. It helps me attract new subscribers such as yourselves. Go ahead and hit that button, and please and thank you. And if you are not currently subscribed to the channel, I don't exactly know what you're waiting for, but please hit the subscription button, become a Barb's Babe. I would love to have you. And also, once this video concludes, let's keep the conversation going in the comment section below, y'all. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on not only the episode, but my commentary as well. So drop down and let's keep it going. Why don't we? Do not mind my appearance. I'm going to the gym directly after that. So that's why I'm in my like a little bit of sporty mode. Y'all get me. Nonetheless, let's get into it, y'all. So this episode, we also got the taglines this episode. So why don't we just talk about those real quick? Let me bring them up right now. Taglines. Why don't I bring that up? Okay. Boom. Here we are. Let me share my screen. Let's share my screen. We are right here. Okay, cool. Y'all see it? We good? Okay, let's go. So this is Gizelle's tagline for the season. When the girls are away, it's time for Gizelle to play. I'm assuming she's talking about her daughters. She's entering her empty nest era. Well, can I even say that? Because I thought that one of the girls was staying. I don't know if she's going to be living at home, but I know one of them is going to is going to Howard, Gizelle's alma mater. So I don't. Will she still be staying home? She's staying on campus. She'll probably be back and forth. So I get it. I mean, I'm not like screaming for joy for this tagline. It's cute enough for Gizelle, but it doesn't like do anything like super great for me. Moving on to Wendy. I quit grading, but I'm still passing judgments. It fell flat for me, I guess, because hasn't Wendy like had taglines that were dedicated to her being like a professor and stuff like that before. I just would have wanted to see something like a little bit new, something more fresh, Yeah. Hey, Kevin, how are you today on this lovely Monday? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Always a good time when you're in the chat. But yeah, back to the tagline. I wish I could have I wish I could have seen something just a little bit more fresh. I DM'd a video to California to share with you. Receive it. If not, have an IG so I can send to you. Yeah, no, I didn't get it, Kevin. So if you want to DM it to me, that is totally fine with me. There's my IG right there at the bottom. So send it my way. I'm eager to see whatever this is. Okay. Mia be lying. Marriage can be temporary, but ink is permanent. You know what, Mia? That's how I feel about that. And that's because we got like multiple scenes this episode with Ink, and y'all, I've been saying since I don't know how long now that I'm not excited to see him on the screen. I wasn't excited whatsoever to meet him. It's just uncomfortable. So her dedicating her tagline to their interesting relationship that doesn't really interest me at the same time just makes me a little nauseous. Yeah, okay. Ashley, from kiddie pools to the dating pool, I'm ready to dive in. I bet you are, Ashley. I bet you freaking are. Why does she look so tight in this picture? Okay. Anyway, what else does she have going on? Nothing really. So of course she's going to tie in the only thing that she thinks she has going for herself, which is this whole dating storyline or whatever. Doesn't really move me. I know how to host a show and steal one too. That's Stacey's tagline. I like that because for a first season, I think that's pretty nice because she's not lying, y'all. She's not lying. As these episodes go on, I can clearly see why she was a QVC host. She's a natural in front of the camera, and she kind of is. Yeah, I will say she's one of the pillars that are carrying the show right now. Yeah, I will say that. And it's only been 3 episodes. So, yeah, that passes the vibes check. Keiarna, I own a business. I mind my business. And I stand on business. I really like this one. I think this is probably my favorite one out of all of them. And that's because Miss Momma is been giving since she first came on our screens. I want to say last season, and we know that she owns a business. Yes, that's true. That's true. She definitely gives minding my business because you don't see her really starting fires with other people. You see people trying to start fires with her. Yeah, and I do believe she does stand on business. So Keiarna's is my favorite so far, y'all. Mm-hmm. Karen, darling, I am the fence and the gatekeeper. Also, same, just like what I said about Wendy, I need a little bit something different. We know how you feel. And she's not lying. Yeah, she definitely is the fence. And actually, it's a good thing that Karen has this tagline because I'm about to use it against her when we get into this episode. So without further ado, y'all, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Mia says anything merely for shock value. Jacqueline too. Both of them are birds. I'm so glad can we talk about it, Kevin? Because it was just really cringy seeing them on screen. It was very, very cringy, and it's almost giving we do each other's bin. Like we just everybody doing everybody. And then the kids are right there. It's just that's why I said uncomfortable. Watching her interact with pretty much anyone in her life is uncomfortable because she just seems, very disingenuous. You never know when she's lying. You never know whether or not she's gonna throw, her freaking uncle, aunt, grandmother, whoever. She no holds barred as far as who Mia is willing to throw under the bus to remain on the show, and it is actually very scary. Very scary. You think she gives I don't I think for me, Stacey gives like what this show has always quote unquote been made to do or portray, I would say. I think she gives exactly that. Delusional as hell when it comes to her relationship, and we're gonna get into that too. But I like Stacey, I really do. Karen is the queen of yes, and we saw that throughout this episode. We definitely did. But y'all, we pick up with the ladies being kicked out. as we talked about last week, they're getting kicked out of the GNA event, and so they're making their way out and very much offended, like most of us would have been in that situation. And then none other than Ashley comes up to the sprinter asking them for donations. So you kick me out, but then you have the audacity to waltz up here and ask me for a donation. When you talk about tacky, Ashley is she is so tacky. Like, and it's giving like who raised you, but at the same time, we know who raised you. Sheila from Under the Bridge raised you. So I guess this is how you get down over there. But that was just like, girl, she lucky all Jassi did was close the door on her, because she would have got that, whatever it was, she would have got it slapped on the ground out of her hands. Fucking around with me. Don't ever. Like, the audacity though, for real. And I'm glad Jassi shut her down. Like, girl, go to bed. You got bags. Haha. And this is what we're not doing. This is what we're not doing. And I really liked Jassi in that moment. And I've been, honestly, Jassi's like low key like my MVP right now. I'm not even gonna lie, because she doesn't seem like she's afraid to speak her mind. Somebody needed to say what needed to be said in that moment. And Ashley was totally out of line for even thinking that it was okay for her to walk up to them and ask for anything after the way that they were just handled coming into that event. At the same time, though, also speaking on Ashley, I feel like this situation, although Keiarna was messed up and petty for inviting them in the first place after they had already RSVP'd to Gizelle's event on the same day, we can't overlook the fact that Ashley could have mitigated this by telling them to not show up when she was on the phone on the FaceTime with them. Because Gizelle clearly said if they come after 7:30, like, it's a wrap. She's good on it. So, and Ashley, you saw how serious she was about that. So you set them up for failure in that moment when you could have stopped it. And that tells me everything I need to know about how the role she played in last year's debacle at the GNA event. I do feel like seeing how she didn't put a stop to them showing up in this event tells me that she was definitely in cahoots with Deborah, Sesame Street, whatever you want to call her, last season, because you knew that Gizelle wasn't playing, and you clearly saw that they were on the way, and you could have told them, you know what, just don't come at all. Gizelle, she's really upset. She really doesn't want that to be the case. So just save yourselves and the sprinter driver a trip and just don't show up. But she didn't, because she's messy AF. I should have got that forehead and would have around me, but Jassi's better than me, but she definitely held her own. And I'm glad, again, that she said what everybody was thinking and wasn't about to give Ashley a moment. Hi, Feisty. How are you today? Mm-hmm. The MVP is Stacey for me this episode. Ashley is beautiful from head to ankles. And did she lie? No, she didn't. But, and then Vivian, because Vivian had also came out there too, and she was talking to them. And I want to say she actually left with them, if I'm not mistaken. Next day we see Jassi, Ashley, and Karen all go over to Stacey's house, her family house, not her bachelorette pad. And it was Stacey and Jassi at first, and then before we know it, Ashley walks in. Did you guys clock Jassi rolling her eyes when Ashley walked in? I would have did the same thing based on the night before, but yeah. She's really doing it for me. If you guys can't tell, I should say. And she's like, yeah, you know, how are you ladies doing or whatever? And Jassi and Stacey are like, you know, okay, but you know, how are you? And she's like, you know, the event was great and she just had a lovely time. And Jassi's like, oh, you know, that's nice, because we definitely didn't, you know, get gangsters and alcohol. That is the perfect name for them, because not only is that what we've seen at the two events that they've had between last season and this season, but there still ain't any merchandise on the website. So Yeah, it's looking pretty gangsta and alcoholish if you ask me. So right on, Stacey. Right on, Jassi. Um, Jassi, did you guys peep when Jassi apologized for the sprinter hitting the door hitting Ashley? Because you saw how Ashley was ready to just continue to amp that up and really just try to play victim and act like she dislocated her arm or something. Like, stop it. And I feel like maybe Jassi did that because Ashley's the type of girl, she turns into Karen real quick also. And she's the type of girl that probably would sue somebody behind something like that. So maybe that was Jassi trying to cover her own self in that moment, which I don't look at her any type of way for apologizing, because I'd rather not get sued either if I can help it. Anyway. And then when Karen walks in and she's like, what is going on, as they're kind of going back and forth with it. And it was kind of giving, mommy dearest, wise elder vibes. Y'all know what type of time Karen be on, that deflection time. Yeah, that time. And so then Ashley kind of starts to question Karen about, like, okay, one minute we find out that you have this event or whatever, didn't say anything about sending out invites or whatever, and then the day before or whatever, you're sending out invites to your event. Like, what's going on with that? And Karen then jumps on her soapbox to start talking about how this was just such a big moment for her. She wanted to share it with the ladies. And, Ashley calls BS on it, which is 100% correct, because it was BS. But at the same time, two things can be true at the same time, y'all. Y'all know how I get when it comes to stuff like this. And in this moment, it was like, yes, Karen, you were totally messed up for inviting them and throwing a monkey wrench in the operation like that. But Ashley is 100% accurate in saying that you were giving deflector last week at your party or whatever. And you might keep saying it's an Inquisition party, which may be true as well. But Karen, you're not leaning into it. And honestly, y'all, as it stands right now, and bring in what's happening presently in the media or whatever, and what we're seeing on the show, that tells me that Karen just should have sat this season out, y'all. If she was going to be trying to keep everything so much on hush hush because of, the legalities of everything, then she should have just sat this season out, because they're not going to keep gunning for her. They're not going to keep asking her what all happened. They're not going to stop trying to get to the bottom of things. And we know now that she was extra tight-lipped during the season, I'm assuming at this point, because she is trying to get things dismissed and stuff like that. So she should have just sat it out, honestly. But I bet you her pride wouldn't let her to do that. Someone had to have suggested that to her. Okay, good. I'm glad you did. Gangsta's not. It really did. I was not expecting that at all when I heard it last week, because they did play that little clip last week in like the teaser or whatever. So funny. Hey, brother, how are you doing today? Y'all go ahead and subscribe to my brother's channel. He has really been busting out the content lately. So y'all go ahead over there and catch up with his latest, and make sure you hit the like button, as he just said. Hit the like button over here, hit the like button over there. Drop your link too if you're still in here. So it was just a lot of back and forth, and then we get to seeing basically Ashley and Karen just verbally sparring back and forth. And that was good TV. That was good TV, because when Karen gave a shout out to Ashley's bunions, y'all, when I tell you my head probably hit the ceiling, because if you guys have been watching my videos, you already know I've mentioned Ashley's bunions quite a few times, and I feel completely entitled to doing so, because I'm also somebody, I don't like my feet. Like like I'm also somebody who, is familiar with what Stacey said, from ankles up. Okay. And I am totally unapologetic in saying that. But you know what? You know who loves them? My husband loves them. And these is the feet that God gave me. So I don't care. But I just say that coming from somebody else who's foot challenged. Not like that though. I ain't got no bunions. I ain't got no corns, something like that. It's just, they're just my feet. Anyway, I say that to say, in this case, y'all, how many people would have kicked Ashley out as soon as she threw her feet up on the island, the counter, whatever? How many of y'all would have thrown her out? I know I would have, because what we're not going to do is we're not doing that. You better keep them down there. Actually, bring them outside. And I say this again because Ashley's had ample time to get them removed, and she just won't for whatever reason. So hey, it is what it is. You can start messages and talk about other people and other things or whatever, and call everybody else out for their stuff. So you just got called out for it too. And I've seen some people on Twitter like equating that to like, oh, like it's okay for Karen to say that, but it wasn't an issue, or like equating that to like the body shaming that Candace has like done in the past with Ashley and her forehead and stuff like that. Spare me. At this point, Ashley has caused strife and drama in pretty much everybody's lives on this show. So if she don't dish it out if you can't take it. Oh well. Okay, good. We see each other on this one. She should have, and it would have fared her a lot better than what the hand she's being dealt on the show right now. But yes, her head is ginormous. The Grand Dame whole thing has definitely made her head the size of Jupiter, and that would not allow her to sit this one out. And I hope I never get that I hope I never crash out like that, because she's looking like a deflector who lacks accountability, who has an alcohol problem. Like, yeah, we may and kiki and laugh at stuff or whatever, y'all, but that's what it's giving. And that's something that she has to come to terms with and deal with even once these cameras go off. So why not put your health and all that at the forefront and say, you know what, this is not the environment I need to be in right now. This is not what I need to be focused on right now. Look, that's that. I feel like that's the true mark of maturity, is knowing when to sit something out, when this party is just, I've overstayed my welcome. This party is not for me anymore. However you want to put it. I feel like that's the true mark of maturity. And she's saying that this show, or this event, not making it seem like it's a party itself. No, this incident, this happened, and it has basically opened her eyes to like the true meaning of life, or however she put it in the first episode. And I think that's total BS, because if it really opened your eyes to that, then yeah, you wouldn't be on this season. You would be sitting out, doing what needs to be done, and getting the help, assistance, support that you need in order to go forth. Just saying. Moving right along. I did love though how Karen brought up the pinching of the booties by Michael in the past, because Ashley is also being willfully ignorant and acting as though she hasn't sat herself on the fence, or supported certain people when she should have been more vocal about things or whatever. I did appreciate that. And she was being shady when she gave those Uber cards. Like, let's don't play in my face. Don't play in my face. So I think again, everything that Karen said was warranted, and at the same time, Ashley felt the need to keep her foot on Karen's neck, and that's just what it is as well. Oh well, we see each other. And you see how Ashley actually admitted that Gizelle did need to say sorry. Like, on one hand, she should have said sorry, but at the same time, you also played an integral part in how everything went down. You see, like, she just flips onto all the sides, and I'm clocking it. I'm clocking it every time I see it. Moving on, Wendy and her mom, they're over her house. I really liked how it was kind of like the 3 generations, like cooking or whatever, because it was her mom, her, and her daughter was also in there. And Wendy says, she could cook or whatever, but she don't quite throw down like super did it traditionally as her mom does. Like like if her mom is like expert, like top, like number 10, Wendy's probably, like a 7 or whatever. But her mom is trying to get her cooking. Like, I guess that was a piece of fish that she brought for her forever ago that she hadn't cooked or whatever. And she also speaks about how Mia invited them to North Carolina, which is at the same time as her birthday. Shout out to Big Gemini. Yes, yes, yes. So we saw a little bit of that with this scene. And she also speaks about how Eddie's parents actually reached out to her, or his dad, I should say, reached out to her on Mother's Day and was wishing her a happy Mother's Day or whatever. And if you guys have been around for a minute, you will know that the relationship between his parents and her and them and everything has been like strained since day one, or I should say since they got engaged or whatever. And I don't know if it's more so like they, I guess they wanted better for each parent wanted better for their child situation, something along those lines. And it was definitely a big deal for them, obviously, because it's going on 14, 15, however many years now, and we're still like estranged or whatever. So she kind of took this as a stepping stone enough to want to then invite them to her 40th birthday party. And y'all peeped how her mom, when she said that, she was like, please do. I'm for peace. And these will always be the kids' grandparents. I'm like, that sounds good and all, Miss Susan, but I'm not buying it. I'm definitely not buying it, but it's cute that you said that. But my main thing also in the scene was, it was saltfish. Okay, cool. Gizelle is mainly saying sorry as directed by HR to change the audience perception. Yes, her and production are working overtime this season to try to change how we view her, but the North will always remember. And although she still hasn't done anything, and we're on episode 3 now, that I can really get on her about, I can never sit here and fully just open arms embrace her. I just kind of take her as she scene by scene. Yeah, that's how I feel about Gizelle. To be honest, I think it is Wendy's mom's demeanor as for the reason why Eddie's family is estranged, because of Wendy's side of the family. Yeah, her mom is definitely a character. And sometimes, that doesn't sit well with other people. Personality clashes, but at the same time, no, because they were friends. Her mom and his mom were friends before that. So then at that point, that tells me that they don't have any issues with one another. Or I don't know, sometimes people do get funny about that type of stuff. Like, it is cool, we're just friends, or we're just, whatever. But that doesn't always mean, I guess, the person wants to be family with you. Maybe those types of situations. I feel like we will never completely know about that. But a couple things I think could be true also here. One, are they being opportunists? Like, are they just coming around now because, on the show and blah, blah, blah? Like, we can never just cancel that out, y'all, because we see it happen time and time again on these shows. People estrange, long lost, 15th times removed cousin comes out the woodwork wanting to make amends, or come stop on by for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. Like, no, like, I haven't talked to you in 20 years. Don't just try to pop up at my doorstep now that you know that I am getting to the bag and I got a camera pointed in my face. Like, no, we're not going to do that. And I also think it might have a little bit to do with, or what am I talking about? I also found it funny how this is the first time we're seeing Wendy and her mom interact this season. And last time we checked, she was apprehensive about telling her mom that she quit her job as a professor. So I'm just like, mighty funny how you quick to come on here and talk to your mom about the in-laws or whatever. But I thought the next time we seen you guys having a conversation, it was going to be y'all talking about you quitting your job. So I'm still waiting for that. Just saying. But these are all the things that came to mind in this scene for me, y'all. Moving right along, then we see Keiarna and her mom, which I love seeing that as well, because I've been following Keiarna since last season, and she posts about her mom all the time. And even if you guys don't follow her on Instagram, like, you would know based on how she described the whole throwdown melee WWE match that we got last season, you will know that her and her mom are really close. So I liked meeting her mom on here. We met Greg also kind of in this scene as well. And we just kind of seeing her cooking and stuff for him, which, he says that he's not a fan of her eggs, I guess. But, mom, she's trying, the plate was, it was cute, and I'll give her making pancakes, because I am very picky about pancakes. I really only eat my grandfather, in my opinion, is the world's best pancake maker. So I'm just very biased when it comes to pancakes. But she tried, it was cute or whatever. It was cute. I'm just saying. That could be what it is. Keiarna's mom looks good, looks more. Yes, they are like absolute twins. And I definitely feel like I'll enjoy seeing them more on screen throughout the season. So she still says she's feeling really good about moving in. She is, happy to be embarking on this new chapter with him. They're building their house and everything. And she's never been somebody to really chase the ring, but her mom let her know in this scene that, first comes marriage. Her mom definitely let her opinions be known on how they should be navigating the relationship or the sequence of events that should be going down. So I'm sure, being as though her and her mom are close, I didn't see her being offended by it or anything like that. And I'm sure that that left an impression on her. I know that she's not just like one ear and out the other with what her mom said. We also found out that he's divorced. He has 3 daughters. We don't know the ages yet, but she's the first woman that his kids have met since him divorcing and everything. She says that she adores the girls, and everything is good with that. So this was a cute little scene with her. Don't really have anything more to say about that. Let's press on. The twins, Gizelle's twins, they went off to prom in this episode as well. We saw last season Grace, or last year, whatever, we saw Grace going to prom. So now it's the twins' turn. And I like this scene because it displayed that although they are identical, they do still kind of have, they still have their own personalities. They didn't go dressing, matching or anything like that. And I feel like maybe because, like, I don't know, all the celebrity twins and stuff like that I feel like we see oftentimes or whatever, are direct, like, representations of one another and are each other's like shadow, so to speak, or whatever. But Angel and Adore, two of their own individuals, although they may look exactly alike. They look nice. Cal was doing their hair, and Then Jamal comes in. He left the phone and actually popped up in this scene. Gucci down, which kind of like, I try not to put my own views and my own, critiques or just like how I would go about a situation. I don't like to like infiltrate that on other people, but or place that on other people. But I was a little kind of like, okay, like, yeah, you really did. Yeah, you really did come in here all dripped out in Gucci. Interesting. I don't know, maybe because like the last time we saw a pastor bishop doing that, it was revealed that they were a scammer. So I'm not calling him scammer, y'all, at all, but the ones who get me get me. Nonetheless, production, of course, asks her about the word on the street being that he has a girlfriend. And she's like, yeah, like we suspected it. And at the end of the day, he can have as many girlfriends as he wants because, ultimately he is the father of my 3 children and that ain't changing. Like, okay. I don't care. I don't care. The girls look nice. She also did speak about how it's bittersweet that her dad, isn't there because he's definitely somebody who was present for all of the girls' important events in life. And that's definitely something that, oh God, I try not to get emotional. That's something that resonated with me, especially today. A little transparent moment. I lost my grandmother four years ago today, so when I rewatched that this morning, I did get a bit teary eyed because I definitely understand and can empathize with the girls on that. It's bittersweet when you get to that point, knowing you're used to hitting all these milestones in life and looking out on into the crowd or whatever and just seeing a familiar face, but it just put things into perspective that we all have an expiration date here, our physical beings do, physical bodies do have an expiration date down here, and that's real life stuff. It really is. So God, it's crazy to think about that. Gizelle's scene like touched me the most in this episode, but it really did. It really did. Very coincidental timing. Moving on. So Mia and Ink. Oh boy, this is the first scene we get with them, y'all, and they're at their staycation rental. So sometimes they get like Airbnbs or whatever because they can't really get all the privacy that they would like in the apartment building, because we know that she lives over here, G lives down here or whatever. And that just limits their privacy because I guess he like blows up her phone or comes knocking or whatever, popping up all the time to ask for like trivial stuff or whatever. And we also met Jacqueline's PP. Like, this scene told me everything I need to know about why her and Jacqueline are friends. And as I said in the beginning, it's giving very much like they definitely still feel like they share. And that's because I'm like, why did he need to know about how his penis is what are we even talking about here? Just really cringy and weird. I also feel like production was being messy when they zoomed in on that $15 fruit. I don't know, maybe that was just me, but I felt like they were being shady by that. And so Jacqueline came in with her girls and everything, which he's the dad of their girls. But it was just weird. And it got even weirder when Jacqueline revealed that when him and Mia broke up, high school sweethearts or whatever, when they broke up, he was like asking her to come out with him and like go to dinner with him and like that. What? Like, that's just really odd to me. And she was like, oh no, I don't need those problems or whatever. Huh? Like, and the fact that he would even do that tells me that like he wouldn't have just did that unless he was comfortable to do that because like y'all have given him the green light in the past or I don't know what. Like, but that whole this whole group is just weird AF to me, y'all. Jacqueline asked how things have been going with Gordon. And ultimately she still thinks it's good to have them near and dear to the kids, although he bothers her with BS, I guess, apparently. I go through phases. Usually when I go out, I do order waffles though. So I'll crave French toast every now and then, but usually waffles. Like someone really has to wow me and convince me when it comes to pancakes. Like I don't even really like my husband's pancakes that much, to be honest with you. Like I'm very picky. I don't even like my pancakes that much because this is one thing that I haven't perfected how to make in the way that I like to make it, if that makes sense. Just like my salmon cake. Like there's certain things like I can make, but I just prefer like certain other people's versions of them. Yeah. Gizelle making the pound town comment was late, tired, and delayed. It was so weird. So weird. So weird. All Mia scenes had me feeling like I'm watching hip hop and does seem like that. Yeah. So things got a bit weirder here, y'all, too. And that's because we're finally introduced to TJ, who is supposedly Stacey's best friend. I'm just going to speak on this because this is what everybody else was saying on Twitter. This was like a general consensus that I've seen a lot of people saying. And the interactions between Stacey and this TJ guy were very much lacking. It was very awkward between them because it's obvious that she's really attracted to him. She's trying to jump into his skin and he's just not having that. Like he really doesn't feel her in that same way. And some people were even going as far as to say like it's not even because he's just not feeling her. It's like it's giving very much like he is playing for the other team. That's what a lot of people were saying. And when I watched it again, I was like, okay, like I picked up on some of the things people were saying about his mannerisms and like just how he was very much more willing to be affectionate, touchy, or whatever with the trainer. But when she was trying to go in for a hug and everything else, like he wasn't really having it. He was very standoffish with her. And I get it to a degree where it's like they're not physical with one another right now. They're not sexual with one another right now. So I get it. Like you don't even want to like ride the fence with that. But a lot of people were picking up on that. It just like, girl, it's given like he's just not into you. And not only that, it's because of this reason potentially. So only time will tell with that one. But my whole thing mainly also is more so, one, I'm still side-eyeing him because it's like, okay, even in the scene, it's seeming like he's pressing her to like finalize his divorce or whatever, or see what's going on with that. But it's just like, why are you, if you're so dead set on not being with, sleeping with anybody, if you are married with them, why are you even comfortable enough to be with somebody, quote unquote, because you say best friend, whatever, however you want to put it, even with the romantic potential with that person, like why would you even try to have any form of a relationship with this person if they're still married, if that's the case? Like if you were so staunch and serious about your religion and not crossing certain boundaries and barriers and stuff like that, like why would you even be with this person in this capacity then? One. And then two, he's talking about he don't want to be with any he's had partners. Notice how she said the word partners, just saying. He's been with people in the past, but he wants the next person to be his wife. Okay, cool, got that. But with that being said, you are now getting out of a 16-year marriage only to then try to hurry up and jump into a marriage with him then, because that, like, why would you, because I don't even know if that's like, no, Stacey, no, you shouldn't be willing and eager to jump back into something to that level. You should be wanting to just do you, I feel like, for right now, or casually date, or, you know, yeah, be in a boyfriend girlfriend ship or whatever. But that doesn't mean you need to go ahead and jump all the way to marriage with somebody so fast just to, you know, seal the deal, so to speak. Like, come on now. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, ugh. TJ was more into the male trainer. I'm just saying. You're just saying, and a lot of other people were just saying too. So, Stacey, is there something we're missing here? Or did you just hire him? Like, what is really going on here? Even Stacey's comments in her confessional made this record scratch. Yeah. For real. He's not a virgin. She wants to hear how badly he wants to sleep with her on a scale of 1 to 10, but then he says K as in 0. Like, it's giving he's not into you at all. Just saying. Back with the swingers, I mean, Mia and Ink. We're now in their actual apartment, and this is the 4th place that she has lived in 4 years, she said. Because when she first came on here, she was living in Baltimore, right? The place they were in when she first started. Then she moved to that grand old house in Potomac. Remember the one that she's dropped? How much? 40,000. How much did she spend on those renovations for that rental? Yeah, maybe she definitely probably regretted that. Remember, we were like, why are you doing this? And then she moved over to the apartment in Bethesda. Remember, the little small one. And now she's in DC, loving her corner apartment and everything. Okay. They were throwing shade at Karen in the scene, asking about Ink was asking is auntie invited to her trip, which when's the last time Mia had a trip? Was it that Miami trip that didn't even really go well at all? Yeah, I think so. If I'm not mistaken. So Mia, you got some big shoes to fill with this one. Talking about Gizelle. Oh no, yeah, they talking about Gizelle, not Karen. So apparently we didn't see it, but Gizelle and Mia had a one-on-one talk where Gizelle actually did apologize. So everything's good between them right now. And Mia says when she took a peek at what Karen had going on, it said criminal court as in jury. So she's also not letting up on Karen right now. Moving on. So then we see Gizelle, Ashley, Jassi, Stacey, and Wendy all come together for Gizelle to continue her apology reign. And she wants to do it in this setting because they're away from Karen and everything. And she's going to be able to actually like talk to them one-on-one and get to know them one-on-one and all that stuff. So good. Then when Jassi and Stacey come in, they do all hug and everything. And Jassi says that she appreciates how warm Gizelle was to her in this moment. And Giselle's like, yeah, because as Gizelle sees it's between her and Karen and the ladies, they were kind of collateral damage and all of that. But she has all the smoke out for Karen. And so before we know it, like she actually apologized. And when Wendy walked in, y'all see Wendy's bag? I was like, what? Wendy, you look cute, girl. Like she always does. Y'all, why does Wendy got my same bag? Check my Amazon storefront. I just thought that was so cute. Like, see, this is why me and Wendy be seeing each other on the fashion tip, because clearly, great minds think alike. Yeah. Talents on the little one, but that's not the first time that that one of these ladies had something on this specific Potomac that I've had, which that should probably tell. Anyway, let me not even throw no shade. Anyway, okay. Moving on. So Wendy was taken aback that Gizelle was so forthcoming with her apology because, as Ashley said before, like when Gizelle is somebody who just does not apologize. Okay, like she's not an apologizer. So I actually looked up at the ceiling at this point because I'm like, okay, are pigs flying? Because when I tell you y'all, like Gizelle is not letting up about this whole rebrand this season. And like, it pains me to say, like, I can't even say anything negative about her right now because she hasn't done anything, which only tells us that if she starts to go off to that veer off to the left again with it, like she knows what she's doing. And I wish to be a fly on the wall when conversations were had in between last season and this season. Like, my God, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall. Ugh. Anyway, Wendy called her a body double. I was like, because something's up, clearly. But anyway, we are ready for this trip. And Wendy is excited because it's her birthday once again. We see this text invite from Mia inviting all the ladies. So everybody's excited for the most part, right? Okay, cool. Then Gizelle decides to kind of get to know Stacey a bit more. And she's like, I heard that you have 2 kids and yada, yada, yada. And Stacey's like, no, like, no. 1 kid, been married 16 years and everything. And Gizelle's like, oh, well, it seems like you're kind of like sad about your divorce. And when I was getting divorced, like when I was approaching it, I was a lot more, happy and stuff like that. That's probably because Gizelle, circumstances with you were completely different. Old boy was a serial cheater. As you said, cheater, pumpkin eater. I remember she said that. Never forget. But maybe that wasn't something that existed in Stacey and her husband and their marriage. And maybe it's something as painless as, you just kind of sometimes grow apart from different people or different people in life. Or sometimes you start to want other things, but it doesn't have to mean anything malicious or that you guys will hate each other or that you guys currently hate. It doesn't have to mean any of that. So like, I get what Gizelle was saying, but that's not always the same. People aren't always divorcing for those same reasons or whatever. So Ashley then jumps in at this point and she's like, oh no, she has a new friend. And Stacey was like, girl, like, and I saw the regret flash all over Stacey's face in this moment because it's giving very much girl, why? We spoke many times in private about this type of thing. We're a very like well-known couple around here, whatever. Like, I'm actually trying to keep things, more on the hush, not even for me, but for the benefit of my daughter's mental health. And so for you to just throw this out here right now in this setting like this, like knowing that that's not even like how I was trying to get down with it, like it's giving Ashley. And I Stacey, sorry, you had to learn the hard way when it comes to Ashley that she don't have no loyalty to nobody when it comes to stuff like that. And she will use your stuff against you. She knows how to be like charismatic and, all like appear like a girl's girl, only to then spray you with your own tea when it's convenient for her. This is what that was in this moment. And for Ashley to sit there and act like she didn't understand why spilling the tea on that was an issue, you knew it was an issue because you're trying to say like, oh, well, it's the same thing as like, her saying that she's friends with Vivian. Like, how was I supposed to know? Like, damn well her and Vivian are not bumping uglies. And the reason why you even brought him up was to use him, TJ, as representation of the fact that Stacey's moving on or whatever, seeking brighter pastures, whatever, like she's good in the love department or whatever. That's why you brought him up. So that tells you like that's that therefore her and Vivian do not play the same role in Stacey's life, which is again more reason why you should have kept your mouth shut. But you don't ever do that because you play the messiest role on this show. It's ridiculous. And Stacey, kind of got her together with that or whatever. But the bigger picture here is that Stacey, you need to know not to trust Ashley going forward. Moving right along, y'all, because we're See, me and Wendy, like we get each other. Let's wrap this up, y'all. It's now time for the trip to Charlotte and everything, or Norman, Lake Norman, wherever. And as I said before, Gizelle still has a bone to pick with Karen, rightfully so. And we don't even see them interact in this scene. I wish I would have taken a picture of that, but I didn't. But when they first come into the airport or whatever, like ladies are like a lot of ladies are over here, and then you see like Karen back over here still talking to somebody, and then Gizelle over here. And I'm like, I feel like they did that on like production probably orchestrated this because they want the moment between Karen and Gizelle to be like a moment for real, where they really, you know, spar and go at it, I'm assuming. So we need to save that for a whole other fresh episode, right? Okay. So once they reach Charlotte, I want to say they were in first class. I don't know. But once they reach Charlotte, Mia's like, okay, cool. Karen ride with me in the first car. And then it was Jassi, who was it? Ashley, Kay, and Jassi in the last car, and then Gizelle, Jacqueline, and Wendy are in the next car. As I said before, Jassi's funny AF. When Kay was asking about her relationship, everything, she was like, yeah, you know, I'm a dude, blah, blah. 3 years older than him, or whatever. He's never, he does have kids, but he's never been in a serious relationship. And then she like emphasized again that he's never been in a serious relationship. And I'm like, is that because like some people are confused by that, but I felt like that was her way of saying that like motherfuckers really will try to downplay something and make it seem like it wasn't that serious. I don't know if that was either her complimenting herself or her trying to showcase how people will downplay some stuff, knowing like that it wasn't the case. Just saying. We know Wendy's turning 40. Her and Gizelle actually are bonding in their car as well a little bit, where Giselle's like really enjoying Wendy, and Wendy's still open to Gizelle. But they also find out that because Wendy's Catholic too, Gizelle is Catholic. She went back to going to the Catholic church once I guess her and Jamal broke up or whatever, because he obviously is in a Baptist church and everything like that. So fun fact, I guess, there. And y'all, in Mia and Karen's car, Mia has kept her foot on Karen's neck again and is further probing her about what went down with her DUI and everything. And she's like, you know, Mia's like, girl, like it's all over the internet, Karen. Like, why are you like, come on now. And I already said everything about how Karen is probably trying to be tight-lipped because, you know, the legal aspects of it and everything like that. And I'm just like, not that they would have listened, but the only other thing I could think of is Karen should have casually moved over here and it's been like, look, off screen, one-on-one, don't bring this up because the XYZ. She should have told them the real deal behind the scenes, maybe, and maybe it would have went differently. I doubt it, again, because it's reality TV, it's Housewives at the end of the day. But it's just the way that she's going about it, it's only just continuing to blow up in her face and make her look even more like a deflector. So again, you should have maybe sat it out. And we're gonna jump more into that next week, y'all. We see, and we even got a little snippet of that because, you know, hours later, we're seeing them talking all about the DUI stuff. Kay is going off about Scar stuff. A lot is going to happen, it seems like, in next week's episode. So that's why I didn't mind that this week was a little bit lighter, so to speak, and really set the stage for, I think, where we're going to go next week, y'all. So please do not forget to like the video. If you haven't by now, hit that like button, hit that subscription button, hit that notifications bell, drop down in those comments. Let me know how you felt about my commentary as well as the episode. I enjoyed everybody in the chat. Shout outs to you guys as usual. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.